Looking for financial support that strives to honor your community's rich heritage and cultural practices? Introducing RBC Origins. Our Indigenous banking specialists provide resources and advice that can help transform your ideas into tangible progress and community prosperity. At RBC, we're committed to driving your goals forward. Learn more at rbc.com/indigenous. RBC, ideas happen here.
I'm Rick Harp. This is your APTN News Brief for Friday, August 8th. And once again, the brief begins in Ottawa, where yesterday we told you about the Métis Major Project Summit, and notably absent from those discussions on Bill C-5, the Manitoba Métis Federation. With more, Fraser Needham.
Well, to be honest, it was really kind of a non-issue. Of course, the Manitoba Federation decided not to participate because of the Métis Nation of Ontario being invited, but the Métis National Council was invited as an observer, but I think most of the Métis governments are fine with that, and the organization itself, it's kind of represents all Métis governments in Canada, and I think they were perfectly fine being an observer status. And it just kind of showed, I think they're interested in any sort of economic development money they can get as part of these projects that the Prime Minister has talked about. So they generally very receptive to Bill C-5, much more so than First Nations, or some First Nations anyway, and they want to clearly work with the government on this. But the real hitch in this whole thing was the Métis Nation of BC, that clearly the government does not want to recognize. We did pose this question to Minister Alty, and she simply said they haven't met, Section 35 standard yet as an Indigenous government. I know there are some court challenges, but the interesting thing on their recognition going on, they were part of the Métis National Council, as you know, until recently. So clearly they were recognized by bodies that the government recognizes in the National Council, and yet that doesn't seem to be good enough for Ottawa at this point. So we'll have to see what happens down the road. I think we'll probably hear from the Métis Nation of BC more on this, because they did issue a press release that they were invited as an observer, but very disappointed in that, and so decided not to participate.
The family of the late Ashley Shingus will finally get to share their grief in a Manitoba court, an opportunity denied them during her killer's court proceedings last summer, back when Shingus's identity was still unknown, a time when she was simply known as Mashkade Bijikikwe, or Buffalo Woman. Now, her loved ones will have a chance to speak before the judge in the case. Sav Jonza has more.
31-year-old Ashley Shingus went missing in March of 2022 in downtown Winnipeg. It was around this time that 3 other First Nations women were murdered by Jeremy Skibicki, who was served a life sentence in 2024. Shingus is believed to be the first victim. Her family searched for answers regarding her disappearance for years, believing she may be Buffalo Woman. DNA evidence as well as post-sentencing assistance from Skibicki confirmed her identity in March of this year. The Manitoba Court of King's Bench says at the request of the Crown, a hearing will be held August 15th to receive the victim and community impact statements of her family and community. They say it is a process both appropriate and necessary given the exceptional circumstances of the trial. It is believed her remains lay in Winnipeg's Brady Road landfill. The province of Manitoba has previously announced it will search the landfill for Shingus's remains.
Meanwhile, the family of Ashley Shingus has thanked everyone who supported them throughout their long and painful journey. They also extended their gratitude to Chief Justice Glenn Joyal, to the court, and to those who continue to stand with the families of missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit people. In a statement released with the help of the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs, the Shingus family also said, quote, "This upcoming hearing will be an emotional and deeply personal moment for our family, as we are given the opportunity to present our victim impact statements before the court, an opportunity that should have been granted long ago." While Ashley was previously identified only as Mashkade Bijikikwe, Buffalo Woman, we are grateful that her identity has now been formally recognized, allowing her voice and our pain as a family to be acknowledged in a meaningful way, unquote. The family has asked for privacy and continued prayers. Still in Manitoba, where a Winnipeg police officer has been arrested for the second time in 2 years. Arrested in 2024 for theft and obstruction of justice, 48-year-old Constable Elston Bostock now faces multiple new charges: possession of a controlled substance for the purpose of trafficking, breaking and entering for the purpose of committing extortion, and committing an indignity to human remains. Bostock is accused of using his personal cell phone to take a photo of a recently deceased, partially clothed female. Bostock has also allegedly been involved in 84 different drug transactions between 2016 and 2024, as well as breaking into a building with the intention of threatening tenants with unauthorized evictions. None of the charges have been proven in court. Bostock remains in custody. Winnipeg Chief of Police, Gene Bowers.
These are very serious allegations which go directly against the values of the Winnipeg Police Service, tarnishing our reputation and eroding the public's confidence within our service. These allegations are clearly not representative of the actions of our dedicated members who bravely serve the community with integrity, professionalism, and pride day in and day out.
And finally, the First Nations Bank of Canada has announced it successfully closed a $9 million equity investment deal, pooling funds from 5 Indigenous investors. The bank says the new capital will support its continued loan book expansion to meet demand for lending from Indigenous governments, entrepreneurs, and businesses. The organizations co-funding the deal are Whitefish Lake First Nation, Ujo Developments, Doig River First Nation, Dana Jali Trust, and Athabasca Basin Development. Bill Lomax is bank president and CEO.
If you look back even 20 years ago, Canadian Indigenous groups really were just getting started from a business standpoint. So, it was band offices and gas stations, right? Now we see manufacturing groups, out there doing, metalwork. Pro Metal, for example, is a great example of that kind of thing. We see up in the Yukon all sorts of businesses going. It's actually one of our busiest areas. We see a wide range of businesses from hotels to construction service centers. It's really pretty exciting.
And that's your APTN News Brief for Friday, August 8th. I'm Rick Harp.